Hey everybody, good morning. It is TB week. It is, well, technically it's day two, but we're still in phase one. We have about 5 hours left, and I've wanted to do this for a little while now, but I also did want to wait until TB was running so that I could kind of show the maps on the screen and do all of that other fun stuff. We have been, or I guess I have been, releasing videos over the last couple of weeks talking about things from an officer perspective in relation to just being an officer in a guild, as well as being a TB officer and how to manage an effective TB. This tip today is going to be a little bit more focused for everybody, right? Everybody will benefit from this, but as a resource perspective, hopefully as an officer, it will benefit you a little bit more if you bring this stuff to your guild, to your maps, to your Discord, whatever else you need. I will say that this is something that has been available for about 2 to 3 months now, and I've actually had representatives from some of the top guilds, from Maw and some other guilds in that gauntlet area, who have reached out to me and asked me questions about this specific thing. I'm not trying to be clickbaity here. I do promise this is going to be a relatively quick video, but the goal here is to teach you and to teach your guilds how to essentially not ever lose or drop an ROTE battle again. What I am finding, hearing from some guilds, hearing even from my guild mates who are aware of me and are aware of my Discord server, that they struggle with getting some of the combats done. And while combats are not as important as they were in LSGO or DSGO, they still do make up a considerable amount of points, especially if you're doing something like a preload, right? When we preload Zepho over 3 days, we essentially walk it right up to that very line without having had to deploy any GP in there, completely and 100% on combat GP, which does allow us some leeway in later phases. And I know what you're thinking, these combats sometimes can suck, sometimes they can be really long, but as anyone who knows me knows, I do almost every single combat in TB on auto. There's maybe 3 or 4 that I manual myself, but primarily and almost exclusively on auto, and I would say that I win about 90 to 95% of my battles doing it that way. For those of you that do prefer to manual your battles, you will probably find that using some of the tips that you'll hear about today, that you may just never lose a battle again if you do things right. So just check on our TB first. It's day one, about 5 hours left. Day one, we've been experimenting with doing 0 tags in my guild to see if we can get this done without any issues, without having any officer engagement. And so far, it's been relatively successful. We can see that day one, Coruscant is complete already. Corellia is just about there, and we opened up Mustafar, which will get there in those 5 hours, no problem, right? We're at a level where we probably don't even need to do the combats, but don't tell my guild that. I don't want them to be spoiled on day one. So let's take a step back from the game and head over to Discord real quick. And you'll see we are first up on my TB announcements channel, where we've already talked about the fact that I always post a day announcement. And I will post my day 2 announcement once day 1 is completed. Just as an aside for this, I think I mentioned it in my other video on TB, running an effective TB, and on doing TB announcements, that on a day like day 1 to day 2, where we completely max it, I release my day 2 plan pretty much immediately. But on days like day 2 to day 3, where I have a preload that goes right up to the very line, I really try to avoid releasing any messages until literally exactly 1 p.m., which is when TB rolls over for us, just in case there's 3 or 4 people that didn't get to deploy. They see a message, they get confused, maybe they've had a long day at work, right, and they just quickly try to get things done. I try to avoid that. You'll see in my message here, we got a little bit jokey just because we had a hard time last TB. There were a few mistakes that cost us a little bit And that's okay, right? I wanted my guild to understand that happens. It's no big deal. If you tell me it's never happened to your guild, you're probably lying to me. But my goal here is to make life easier for my guild, for your guild, and for everybody that plays this game. So if we head over to Slice of Otagunga, which is my Discord server, you can see it's very prolific. We do have quite a lot of things going on here. But the nice thing about this is that we do actually allow you guys to kind of pick and choose what you want to see. But if we head over here to our TB area, which I have minimized right now, there is, of course, our general help channel. I'm sure every creator has a channel like this. We have our submissions channel, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. We have our council chat, which I'm not going to show you, but it's essentially a bunch of the top players in the game who are really good and very consistent in TB, where we talk about our submissions, where we talk about ways to improve the TB battle library. And then we have channels for every single planet where there is any real relevant information right now. Okay, now obviously some planets like Scarif, Day 6, we don't have any information, and it's not going to be pertinent to about 99% of players anyway. And then we go to planets like Mustafar, where we're going to have a complete ton of things going on. I'm not clicking it on purpose just yet. Now, I know that there are a lot of channels here. We have basically set this up to be as, what's the word? We've set this up to be as condensed as possible, right? And you'll see that when we click on each channel, right? If we go to Mustafar, we'll see some basic information on where each of the combats are. We'll see platoon information and what exactly those platoons do. And then we'll have a current list of threads for the planet. And that current list of threads is basically each CM and the related teams that work really well in that spot. So we'll just pull up, for example, let's say the Newt CM. So Newt Gunray, you're battling against him. You want to know how to beat this, right? We're going to have a list that tells you the combat mission. We're going to tell you what it looks like, what the enemies look like. We're going to give you some recommended teams. We're going to talk about the status of the battle, whether it's easy or difficult to throw on auto. And then every resource that we have that either I've posted or any of the people in the TB Council have posted, or any of the submissions that we have accepted, are going to go right under this glossary here, where we list the teams, what we believe the percentage win rate is going to be for that team, and then we're going to have video evidence of each of those battles so that you can see that it does work, right? The other important thing that we have here is this green and red system, where people can come in and they can let us know if that team has worked for them. And that's something that we can reassess in the future. If we start seeing tons of red on something that is listed as 95%, we might lower that percentage and make notes of it so that players do know. One important thing to note here is that we really try our best, even though it's hard for us to lower our relic levels, find teams that are going to work for everybody and make notes if we believe that very exceptional modding is going to be an important part of doing that CM, right? So we have this all over here for Newt. Let's actually go over to the Fleet CM for, where is it? Not Mustafar, Geonosis. Because this is a great example. The Geonosis Fleet CM is a really, really tough one that nobody really is consistently beating. And while we don't normally allow videos of things that are only going to win like 30%, the reality is that this is a CM where 30% win rate is really good. Right? We have just started beating this in the last couple of months, and unfortunately it is a necessary evil if you want to max out day 2 and get those additional 9 stars, right? The 3, 3, and 3. So while in the future, when we do get some more fleets or ships into the game, we may end up deleting this video. Right now, it is a very effective resource for people to at least get a third of the CM points versus getting none at all. And we have things going on for pretty much every planet where people are doing things right now. One thing that is really cool for those of you that are already on our Discord and who maybe have looked at this TB library in the past, you might notice that it no longer says unknown thread where all of these thread links are. Discord just recently allowed us to use a modified form of markup like Reddit uses, which allows me to label these threads no matter what, so that we don't have to worry about guess and click anymore, which makes things a lot easier for people, right? You'll see that some planets are really only going to have one option so far. Obviously Java, we try to make a note of things like that. And then you might see some that have a couple. Let's see, Tatooine, OpenCM, there's a few of them. So you might see that we have some wins on auto, we have some like Trench on manual, anything that we find is going to go here. What I do find is that because people do get frustrated with these combats, being able to point people to this resource and say, hey, learn from what's already been learned, it has made my guild a little bit more receptive to doing the combats, especially because most of us are in our late 30s to like early 50s, which means we all have lives, we have jobs, we have families. We do not have tons and tons and tons of times to sit on our phone. But when we can put a video on and see something that's being done super, super, super quickly, throw that team in, hit auto and get it done, it makes everybody's lives easier. I highly recommend, right, if you are seeing this video, you'll find our Discord in the show description. Send it to your guild, let people know. Let people know specifically about this Territory Battles library. Now, if you are in a Discord and you're like, what the hell is he talking about? I have no idea. I happen to actually go in here and I generally have show all channels clicked. As the administrator here, I want to see everything that's kind of going on. You probably don't have that going because you maybe don't see an application for every single little channel for yourself. You can go right over here to channels and roles, opt into or out of any notifications that you do or do not want. And then you're going to want to hit this Territory Battles library thing right here so that Discord knows to show you those channels, right? It's especially important because they are not communication channels. They are not chat channels. They do not pop up constantly with new things. So Discord does have a tendency to hide them if you do not have this clicked. And then, of course, we do have our Creators Corner. We do have our guild recruitment and our guild recruiters to kind of help everybody out. I personally don't have those clicked just because, like I said, I have show all channels on, so I don't need that going on. So once again, I hope all of this stuff helps. I hope it helps you get through those combat. I hope it helps you if you're in a younger or smaller guild to figure out which teams are going to be useful. I do personally try to commit at least 1 to 2 combats per phase to trying something new. And I do typically test it 3 or 4 times before I throw it onto the Discord so that people know that it has been tried and tested. If any of you guys have questions, comments, concerns, something that you want covered in the future, questions that you might have about guild leadership, about being an officer, about how to find teams like this, how to run a TB, whatever it is, I am always available on Discord. Reach out to me, give me a little bit of time to see it, and I try my best to answer for everybody. So with all of that said, peace out.